Well, hello everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. I believe you might have came from the declaring variables video in the previous section. Let's go on ahead and let's talk about data types in JavaScript. We'll try to keep this one as usual, quick, simple, and quick as well. So let's get started. I have Visual Studio Code open. I have a script file called script.js in which we can use that. You can actually do it in the console of the or the inspect area of browser, but let's just use the editor as it should be a little easier. And what you'll notice here is in the previous video, we actually declared some actual variables in which we did something like this. We did let my number equal 2. Okay, now one thing I may have forgot to mention is we could actually just declare it and use it later and say my number equals 2. We can definitely do that as well. But in this case, let's start with the number type in which or the numeric type in which my number is going to equal 3. And now we can actually utilize that variable for whatever use case. So that is the actual number for the data type. And again, just remember as a review from previously in different languages like Java or C or C++, you would say something like string name equals full stack. But we don't have to do that here. No, we don't. All we have to do is just actually assign the actual, not assign the type, but just literally just place it in there. So in this case, we literally just said number is going to be 3, and JavaScript will say, okay, 3 is a number, so my number is going to be a numeric value. All right, so now let's go with a string. We'll say my string, or actually we'll just go with let name equal full stack, in which full stack is actually a string. So in this case, name is going to be a string. So that's the numeric value. There is the string value. Let's see, what else can we go with? Okay. How about a Boolean value? So that's going to be like a true or false. So in this case, we can say, let's say is valid. You know, sometimes we have things that are either valid or not valid. So let's say is valid is going to be equal to true. Okay, so that would either be true or false, in which you might have to test whether or not a page or some credentials are valid or not. So we'll say this is a Boolean value. So the first one we have is numeric. The second one, which is the name variable, which is given the string full stack. So that is a string, and is valid is a Boolean value, in which that is a true or false. Now we also have the array. So let's just say my array equals, and in this case, we can give it some values, 1, 2, 3. All right, and that is your array, very similar to other languages as well. And let's go with an object here. We'll say my object. And in this case, we'll open that up and we'll give it some key value pairs, in which we'll say name. Actually, we'll bring it out on another line here. We'll say name. Actually, how about first name? First name. And we're not going to go equals, but we're going to actually do a colon here. And then we'll say that name's going to be a string. We'll say Mr. Blue. Okay, and we'll give a last name of, let's say, Mr. X9. All right, for lack of better names here. Okay, so there's an object. Our objects can have a number of different variables and values as well. So we can actually say something like, let's say we have first name, we have last name. Let's say if it was a game and he had a power or a number. Actually, well, we could just say his array. We'll just say his array. Or actually let's say my object has a to-do list inside it. And that to-do list itself is an array of, let's say, clean house. And they'll have another element in there of, let's say, clean the garage. Okay. And we have a little error here. That's because we are missing an actual comma. Okay, so that is the object. So we have a numeric value, we have a string value, we have a Boolean value, we have an array, we have an object, And what else? Is there anything else missing? We could say let something be undefined. Let's see. How do we want to? We'll just say we'll call it undi. Let undi equal undefined. We can do that. In which, what does this mean? This means it is actually it's declared. So undi is declared, but it doesn't have an actual value. So we could actually leave it like this, and it would still just be undefined. But let's just say we'll say it's undefined. Actually, no, let's leave it blank. Let's leave it blank. And I think the other one would be let null or net null. Let's say we'll call it my null, which in this case, this is basically null is like similar to 0, but in this case, it's declared and it's just giving it just a null value itself. So these are just the main ones here, the majority of the ones that you would actually use. So just to recap, we have the number, we have the string, we have the Boolean value, we have the array, we have the object, which could have a number of any of these as well. And we have something that's actually just declared, but it has no value, so it is going to be undefined. And actually, you know what? Let me take a look at that in the terminal as well. Let's take a look here. Let's console log. I do want to see and this is a good little test here. Let's console log undi and see exactly what we get. Just want to make sure here. Right, and then over here we'll just run this, and it's the name of the script. Okay, so we're logging out undi, and we actually get undefined, which is definitely good. So that just means, again, it's declared, but it does not have a value. And now let's actually log out my null. Let's take a look and see what we get with that, and that comes out as null. So all right, so perfect. So this is data types in JavaScript. A little bit long there, but you'll definitely be utilizing a number of these. We will actually go into further detail of using arrays, on how to iterate through arrays, and how to iterate through objects, and different types of parsing and dealing with these actual variables and types. JavaScript can become a little scary at first, but when you're familiar with the different types of data types and how to use them and how to manipulate them and parse through them, then it becomes an easier step. So this is yet again another way for you to add to your Batman or JavaScript utility belt. Today it was data types, and that is it. Subscribe and comment if you have any questions or need some clarity on anything. Hit the notification so you can have them show up in your feed. And that's it. Stack out. Have a good day.